What's good, Nine on Dream family? We back at it, episode 29 of the Nine on Dream journey. My name is Julian Taliaferro. You already know we coming again with another weekly business update, lessons for the week, and topic for the day, which is root cause. And for this episode, I'm gonna just get right into it with the quote for this week, which is, "When you live in your truth, no one can use it against you." And I'm not sure who said this quote, but it is commonly used nowadays. And I think that it is pretty straightforward. And as it says what it says, that you should just be who you really are and just be authentic to yourself. And you shouldn't feel pressured or feel forced to put on, let's say, a fake persona or a fake portrayal of yourself, but just be you. And that is enough. And from there, nobody can use that against you because you're not being fake. So that's the quote. When you live in your truth, no one can use it against you. And now I can get into my business update. So from last week, one of the things that I was supposed to do is check and see if I can get a reimbursement for a package, a retail arbitrage product that I sent into Amazon, to see if I could get a reimbursement on that because it was lost in transit, I assume. So I was able to look into it, and I realized that I will not be able to end up getting reimbursed for this lost package because Amazon wants all kinds of proof. They want documentation that I actually even sent in the product. So they want photos of the product in the package. They want receipts on, when I bought the product and things like that, which I do not have, because I didn't know that I wouldn't need it. So for me, it's just a understanding of what I need to do in the future to make sure that I take photos of my packages, I take photos of my product inside of my packages, that I have my receipts. And I'm also just kind of wondering, how much this happens. I know the associate that I spoke to on the phone says that it is somewhat common, due to the large volume. But, at the end of the day, now I'm thinking about my future shipments that I will send into Amazon, and I would hope that those don't get lost either. But, just interesting. So just make sure that moving forward, I always have some sort of documentation for what I'm sending in. And then when it comes to my actual product, I'm still moving forward with planning to put it under brand name generic. And this week I'll be able to do a little bit more work and push forward on next steps on that point. So that's my business update, and now I can get into the lessons for the week. And I only had one of them for this week. It's pretty short and simple, and it's just keep pushing forward. Nothing crazy, but it's just, I think, a needed reminder sometimes. Just like last week was a reminder, this is a needed reminder to just keep pushing forward. No matter how many hurdles you may encounter, no matter how many times something may frustrate you, you just have to continue and just keep pushing forward. So that's the lesson for the week. So now my first few sections out the way, I can get into my topic of root cause. So, as y'all are listening, I want y'all to think of like any time that you guys have ever kind of started behaving a certain way, but you're not sure why. You can kind of see that like something is off, but you're not you don't know the reason why you're beginning to act a certain way, right? So, it comes to a point where you kind of see the behavior continue and you kind of get worried and you're like, okay, wow, like what is the reason why I'm acting this way? And you then come up with like a multitude of reasons, but none of them feel like that real reason. So that was me this past week, right? Like I could kind of see my behavior changing in certain ways, but I didn't know the root cause, right? I didn't know what was really causing me to act this way, and I needed to figure it out. And the only way that I could figure it out is just through intentional thought. So I think it's important to at least understand and just realize that you need to sometimes just dive deep and really try to figure out, what is the reason for your actions or what are the reasons for your feelings. So in engineering, we have a failure analysis process where it's called RCFA, root cause failure analysis, where let's say we have a piece of machinery that has began to malfunction and we need to diagnose the real problem for it. We'll then run an RCFA. So in one of my past internships, I was able to lead a RCFA on, let's say, a blower that had failed in ammonia plant, and from there I needed to figure out on why did this blower fail. Was it lack of lubrication on the bearings? Was it due to shaft misalignment? Was it due to not enough preventative maintenance? Was it due to overuse or a overdraft or something like that. It was due to the air filter, all sorts of possibilities. And from there, I needed to look at all the possibilities, gather data for all of them, and then from there sit down with my team and discuss, rank the reasons, and then from there determine the real root cause. So when it comes to you yourself personally, it's not the same, let's say, process as a RCFA, but the intentionality and some of the methodology is still there to where you have to be intentional to diving deep within yourself, to looking at all possible reasons on why you could be acting this way, right? Gather and compile that list. And from there, you have to sit down with yourself and begin to kind of sift through what you found. Sometimes you might not like the reason why you are beginning to act a certain way, but you have to be honest with yourself. Sometimes you do like the reason, right? And from there, you just have to begin at looking at these different reasons, and it'll come to a point where you find one, and then it'll strike a chord, and you'll know that, okay, that is the real reason. And sometimes it's enough to understand the reason, but sometimes you need to figure out why. So for me, this past week, I didn't know why I started, acting a certain way, but I began to think a lot. And the way that I found my root cause was just kind of aligning and correlating when my behavior started to change, and then figure out what had happened in my life at that point, and then kind of figure out, okay, what happened there, and then what could have led to that problem. From there, I was able to identify it. And then when I identified it, for me, it was enough to just understand that reason, and then I could move forward. And I feel like that is the majority of reasons whenever we start behaving a certain way. A lot of it is just understanding. And when we understand it, it's enough. And we just have to accept it and acknowledge it, right? And then we can kind of move forward and, move to the next thing. So, that's the topic for this week. Just find the root cause. If you see something is off, no matter how big, no matter how small, you can't let it linger. You can't just let it manifest. You have to figure out now the reason, identify it, and then figure out either what you can do to change or just understand it. And then from there, just move forward and, keep living your life. So, uh, that's my perspective on determining or trying to figure out your root cause for, let's say, a change in behavior. So now I can kind of get into my next steps, and my main priority now is just focus on putting my product that I have right now on Amazon under brand name generic, and that is my main focus. So everything I'll do these next few weeks will be oriented towards that. And all right, let's get it, y'all. Let's go and achieve a 9-9 dream. And it's 9-9 dream because you are going to achieve your dream. And it would be 100%, but nothing is perfect. So you can achieve 99% of it. And let's go and let's get it.